Hello YouTube, this is Marauders here, and this is my Microsoft Surface 3. Now, one of the typical complaints about the Microsoft Surface line of computers is that the excellent type cover, because it's both thin yet highly usable, and it doesn't come with the price of the system, and of course it's comparatively expensive, and you can only use it with the Surface itself. You can't use it with anything else. So for people with that kind of argument, Microsoft decided to make the Microsoft Universal Foldable Keyboard. So it's basically one of those foldable keyboards, those Bluetooth foldable keyboards that you've seen online to use with your phones or other tablets. But of course, construction wise, it's pretty much the same as the same design as a Microsoft type cover. So they are both nice and thin, ridiculously thin, and they are both highly usable. They are quite practical. They work pretty well for something that's this thin. So the Universal Foldable Keyboard is a Bluetooth keyboard, and you are able to store two device profiles to it, so you can pair it with two devices just by, you can switch between the pairings just by pressing the 1 and the 2 button, the different profile buttons for a while. So pretty convenient. So you can use it with like two devices, maybe your tablet as well as your phone, and switch around them. The other interesting thing here is that while not only can you switch between two device profiles, there's a weird button here that says OS. Okay, there's a weird button here that says OS, and when we press it, it cycles through the three logos on top, which is Windows, Android, and iOS. I'm not really sure what this does, the implication of this, but I think it has something to do with the fact that when you switch the different OSs, these keys work differently. So with Windows, this is the start button, and Android is also a start button. I have no iOS device, so I don't know what this actually does in iOS. Of course, if you are on iOS, I've seen this before. This is the command key for the iOS and Apple devices. So that's probably for that, and that's probably what the OS switcher is for. A bit confusing since the manual only shows pictures and doesn't really say what exactly it's for. Now, usage wise, feels like a type cover with a few differences. First of all is that notice this is what we call a split keyboard layout. So that means the distance between the two halves of the keyboard is there's a pretty big gap here. Now if your touch typing skills aren't up to par, you'll notice that you find that when you type and you will move your hands you're not typing with your correct hands, trying to stretch over to the other side is going to be a bit troublesome for you. So just learn to type faster and more properly. But if you're a good touch typist, you're great with your finger positioning, you shouldn't feel a problem. The only other weird thing I feel is that I'm always pressing the home button instead of the control key, probably because I'm not used to it. The other thing to point out is that there aren't any function keys here. So if you're going to use it for a Windows keyboard, for Windows desktop keyboard, that's probably going to be this is not a good idea for it, because there aren't any function keys. There are only all the media control keys. So it will probably hamper some people. Of course, one last point to note is that you can't use, it's going to be a bit tough to use this on your lap, because you see, while most of the keyboard is rigid, there's this flexible middle here So if you're typing on your lap, you'll notice that it would flap around a bit. So using it on your lap, not as good as using an actual type cover. But of course, if you're looking for a highly portable and compact full-size keyboard with decent full-size keys, yeah, the foldable keyboard would probably work for you. If you are looking to say, instead of buying this, instead of a type cover for your Surface, this is usable as well. It is slightly cheaper, but you need to get used to the fact that, number one, you don't have the function keys on the universal keyboard, and number two is that the type cover comes with a touchpad. So the universal keyboard is just a keyboard, so might work for you, might not. You can ask all the iPad Pro people how they like typing typing on the keyboard and then having to touch everything on screen when they need to point at something. See how well that's working out for them. Okay, I guess that's it. That's the Microsoft Universal Foldable Keyboard. It's pretty decent. It's a potential alternative to the type cover if you don't want to buy a type cover just to use with your Surface, and you want, or of course you can just use it with any other Bluetooth device. So yeah, go knock yourself out. Pretty convenient and portable. This is Marauders. I'll see you all later.